Story time. So here to talk to you about Indian street food. So I actually went to India for 3 weeks as to debunk this, and I spoke to a bunch of different people. I spoke to a bunch of locals and stuff like that. And the conclusion is, guys, is that stuff on social media, it's mostly not real. Like, you walk around, yes, it's a developing country, and yes, maybe it is a bit less sanitary in certain areas, but you talk to the locals about it, man. Like, they don't want to, if it's super nasty, they don't want to eat it either. A lot of the stuff you can't eat on the street, you can also get in restaurants as well. That's sort of like the way the cuisine is. And like, they were just telling me that a lot of it's fake. Like, like some white guy comes into the camera and he's like, yo, like, I'm a food vlogger, like, show me something crazy, and maybe even like bribe some of these guys to do some of these crazy tricks. And then these guys will start doing some crazy stuff on camera because, maybe they're being paid to, maybe they like the attention, maybe they want to go viral. There probably are a few guys on there who are legitimately unsanitary, but for the most part, when you guys go on TikTok and you see like anything super nasty, super crazy, okay, so some of it probably is real, like maybe like 10% of it, but the other 90% of it, if it just seems too like gassed up, it's not real, man. And I was there for 3 weeks, and I can tell you, like, the entire time I was there, and I went to 6 cities in India, like I went hard in the paint. The entire time I was there, I didn't see a single person do anything weird like that. Like, everyone there, like, they're all just vendors trying to make money. They're all just vendors trying to like feed their kids, like, their parents, like, their moms, their grannies, like, they're just trying to like sell food so they make money. Like, why in their business practice would they purposely give people food poisoning in order to like, like, that would just destroy your business. So all of them, like, they're as clean as they possibly can be. It's not like a Western standard, and in the South, it's also a hotter country, so you can kind of get away with having more things out like that. But just generally speaking, like, I just want people to sort of check their critical thinking for a second, because, like, most of that stuff is fake. And then the local Indian people are really upset about this because they think it gives the country a bad name. Like, I'm in Canada, and there's a massive anti-Indian rhetoric right now. My friends in India, they were talking to me, and I was chilling in one of their places. It was pretty, like, we're in a condo building. It's pretty similar to, like, something you'd see in Canada. We're in his place in India, and we were talking about it. And he was just like, I don't know why when I come to Canada, when you check the comments on SixBuzz or whatever, it's all just negative comments about Indian people. Like, it's really racist if you think about it. Like I remember when Chinese people came to Canada, there was all sorts of like racism about them, saying we're putting rats in the food, we're eating cats and dogs, like all sorts of racist stuff. So when I see them going through it, I'm like, yo, this is just straight up sort of like Western racism, and I don't think anyone should be experiencing it, So yeah, so like I went all over the country. I talked to tons of locals about the street food thing, and they actually blame the TikTok food vloggers for doing this to their country. They're like, this is sort of like a social media hate crime, and it's just really, really gassed up. Like, if you watch these vlogs and you sort of just like film the guys doing regular stuff, it's not gonna go viral. And yeah, some of it is like kind of unsanitary. Like, they're serving food on the street. They don't have the same sort of like health code laws we do in Canada. Like, in Canada, you get like one infraction, you're getting a green, like a yellow strike on your health report on the front of your restaurant, right? It's very strict here. But in India, it's a lot of people coming from the countryside, they're just trying to make a dollar. They're cooking things. So, like, some of the things they're cooking are kind of unusual looking. Like, I didn't know what all of it was. Like, they're doing flaming pond. That stuff is real. But a lot of stuff is they just have a fryer out and they're frying like some fried food on the street. They might be serving some fruit. But here's the thing, though, is that I went to one stop where I got off the train, and like there was all these street food vendors serving fruit, and like all the locals just got up and started eating it, and like it was clean, it was fine. And like any other country, I'd probably do the same thing. But because like I don't have like the Indian like gut biome in my stomach yet, because like the bacteria system there is completely different. I can't really eat like the local fruit and stuff like that. It has to be cooked or peeled. But I'm starting to realize the locals can. Like, they have like the local gut biome. It's just a very different set of bacteria that every country has, and their gut biome is just really different. And yeah, they can just eat it, and it's not like an issue. And I was kind of jealous of that. And I'm pretty sure if I stay in the country long enough, like after about 10 days, my gut biome adjusted. I did get food poisoning, but I think like that's just my gut biome flipping over, because after that I could eat just about everything and I was fine. So yeah, I want people on TikTok to cool with the racism. Understand that like it doesn't make like the Indian people traveling abroad, like not just like the countryside people, like the Indian professionals who have like degrees and masters and who are traveling abroad and getting jobs and everything, it just kind of weighs on them. Like, how would you like it if you came to Canada and you paid all this money and you're just getting all this racism for something that you didn't do? Like, your family doesn't cook that way, your friends don't cook that way, you don't really eat that type of stuff. Like, if it looks nasty, you're not eating it. Like, you're a regular person too. Imagine just receiving that much flack for something that you really didn't have that much control over. Like, it's honestly just racist. What's the definition of racism? Having a prejudice against someone because of like something you heard about, like all Asians are bad drivers. That's racist, man. Maybe some Asians are bad drivers, but like not all of them. That's racist, bro. Maybe some stereotypes are true, but like, there's a difference between that and racism. So I just want you guys on TikTok to sort of like cool it with that. And I went to the country to figure it out. And yeah. And there's just some other things I'll get into, like, okay, like, like they drink holy water at the temples, and in the temples you can't wear shoes. So like people in their country are kind of used to not wearing shoes all the time. So like when I was in Varanasi, people were walking around barefoot like all over the city. But the reason why is because the whole city is holy and you're walking through, so many temples. And if you're actually religious, you're not allowed to wear shoes in the temple. So a lot of them just get used to like not wearing shoes. And if they're from the village area, maybe they just don't have shoes. So some people might view that as dirty. Like I just view that as like they're just in a less developed country. Maybe they can't afford shoes. But and there's also a religious element. But who am I to judge? And you are supposed to wash your feet before you go to the temple. Like they do. Like they do have like a basic sense. I also spoke to an Indian doctor when I was there who works in the rural villages, and he says that a lot of these people, they're just not very educated. They're kind of from the fourth world in many ways. And what he said to me is that, like they just don't have any concept of health because they're too busy trying to survive every day. Like they'll get like trench foot farming in the rice paddy, and then they won't have time to go get it fixed because, if they take one day off, it's a hand them out to existence, they won't be able to eat. So it's like, he just says it's pretty sad, but at the same time, like, like that's not their fault, man. That's poverty. So it's like, would you make fun of somebody else for being poor and not having access to like clean water and everything? So that's kind of what they have to resort to. Like, it's just racist, man. So I want people to just sort of change their perspective on that. And I think more people should visit India. But yeah, that's my story today. So here we go. Thanks, guys.